Hey guys, alright, I've decided I'm going to go ahead and do my first comic review. It's not a recent one, it's actually one that probably most of you have actually already read. It's the Batman and Spawn one that was done by Frank Miller. I recently read it for the first time. I know, I'm really backed up on a lot of stuff, but anyway. So I recently read it. I actually liked it. I mean, see, here's the thing. I'm not a big Hellbourne fan, whether it be Ghost Rider or Hellboy and Spawn. I've had experience with Ghost Rider, so I'm not against him. I'm not against it or anything. I'm just saying I'm not a big fan of this stuff. So I mean, I watched the Ghost Rider movies. I didn't dislike them, and what little bit I understand of the story for the comics, it's okay, I'm all right with that. And in regards to what was the other one? Hellboy. I actually didn't mind the first movie. I hadn't gotten to see the second one yet, but they're interesting stories. But I've never had any experience with Spawn in general. Pretty much the only thing I knew about him was what I had watched on the Screw Attack's Death Battle. They did an episode on that guy on him. I think it was him fighting. Shoot, I can't even remember who it was. Spawn was fighting. Oh, Kratos. It was Kratos versus Spawn. And, I got a little bit of an introduction to him on that. But other than that, I really had no real introduction to him. I don't know anything about his personality. I didn't know anything about him really beyond his base storyline and what he was capable of. So when I was coming into this comic thinking, I'm not going to probably care for Spawn that much, but I like Batman. Well, I was in for a surprise. I actually came out of this comic disliking Batman and liking Spawn. From what little bit I got out of that comic, Spawn really reminded me more of a kind of like Deadpool's personality with Ghost Rider's origin and basic storyline with Doctor Strange's powers. I was actually kind of surprised, and I actually grew to like the character. Whereas Batman, he was frickin', oh my gosh. I mean, normally he's moody, and that's usually part of the appeal of Batman, but the frickin', this time he was just frickin' anal. I don't know how to say it. He was so uptight and stick up the butt in this comic. I was like, shit, did he just come off the freaking Jason episode? Or Jason Todd episode or something? It's he is freaking just tightly wound in this particular comic. So I ended up coming out of it not much caring for Batman's depiction in this one. But, oh well. So I want to say this right now, spoiler alert, if I haven't already said it. So if you don't want to get spoiled on this, if you haven't already read the comic and you might plan on reading it later, go ahead and get off. I don't want you to feel spoiled by it. Okay, so basically, long story short, the Batman bumps into one of these robots that has a human head in it. It leads him to New York, where Spawn is headquartered primarily, and along the way he hears about Spawn, finds Spawn, killing these two bad guys, gets all pissy about that, which, of course he would. Not like that's necessarily a bad thing that he would be. I can't disagree with him, but, And, they duke it out, they fight. Finally, Spawn gets through to him, tells him, hey, we're on the same side, we're trying to fight the same bad guy. Turns out this bad guy is Dr. Love. She had another name, but I forget it now. But she was basically one of these anarchy types. Well, not really anarchy, but basically wants to destroy everybody. Not so much like hatred, just more like, the only reason this world sucks is because of people. So we need to make this world better, we have to destroy all the people. Destroy all humans, whatever. Bad pun, sorry. Anyway, so, in the end, she's got these hypnotic abilities, which, makes everybody fall in love with her. Hence Dr. Love, I guess. And, in the end, Batman and Spawn just show up and just crash the party and destroy the whole ship that they're on with all the robots on it. And in the end, there was really no boss battle. I mean, there was no real fight with Dr. Love. I mean, let's be honest, she was against Batman and Spawn. If her robots can't handle the two, then she ain't going to be able to fight them. And so, in the end, they didn't even touch her. What happened was a piece of trash fell through her gut and cut her wide open. So, it was really anticlimactic, really not that great of a villain kind of situation. But I imagine the story was really meant to be entirely focused on Batman and Spawn meeting up. So, that was what it was focused on. And in general, I actually liked the story. And I got introduced to Spawn, and I didn't mind him too much. So it's kind of like, I enjoyed it. I think it's definitely worth a read. I wouldn't pay too much for it, but, it's definitely, I'd say 4 out of 5 stars, or 4 stars out of 5, 4 out of 5, let's just say that. So yeah, just, if you ever come across it for cheap, it's worth buying. I probably wouldn't pay more than $3 or $4 for it, but, I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you guys enjoy the comic.